What up, guys, gals, and pals? I'm Kosal, your local dungeon master, and one of the most important concepts in D&D is understanding the psyche of your character, their needs, their desires, and whether or not their infatuation with MILF stems from seeing their aunt in the shower as a kid. Luckily for you, I'm not sponsored by Big Pharma, so you're gonna have to talk to your local high schooler if you want an Adderall refill. Listen up, because if you don't understand the complex hidden narratives behind why your character likes to wear all black trench coats during the summertime, then how are your fellow party members gonna get it? Character mentality is a hard task when you're starting with nothing, so grab your closest coming-of-age YA novel and a copy of Zootopia on Blu-ray. We're about to start psychoanalyzing. Oh, there's nothing like writing a 2-page Word document about the backstory of your character, only to keep it a secret between you and your DM for the next 8 months. But that's an issue for a different video. One thing you should realize about character backstories is that they're all pretty similar. If you think about it, Jesus and Steven Universe are basically the same person. And Superman. And Marty McFly. Holy shit, there's a lot of Jesus in Hollywood. What the fuck did I just uncover? You see, you can have similar backstories, but an entirely different character based off of how they react to it. You can write the saddest backstory in the world, but the main deciding factor in how you choose to roleplay is what your character decides to do. Maybe they choose to forget these terrible events with comedy, or they deal with it in totally healthy ways.
Wake the fuck up, Dungeon Masters. We got a tabletop to burn.
For legal purposes, this takes place in Minecraft. This is not a call to action. This is a parody. Just like how I can paradoxically say I want to kill the representative of Ubi. How your character reacts to their backstory is what's gonna lay the foundation for their personal future growth. Maybe use that as motivation on how to act when similar events happen in your campaign. And if you really want to upgrade this theory, work with your DM to find ways to incorporate these themes even more into the campaign. Don't just let your backstory be something to expect to pop up in the future. Let that backstory be your motivation for how your character acts. If you're a smooth talking womanizer, then maybe they were raised? Did I just say raised? Oh, fuck me. Maybe they were raised by a predominantly female family. If they're an asshole, then maybe it acts as a defense mechanism they gained from bullies in their past. Oh shit. My nose is bleeding. That's weird. Oh man, I must be sleep deprived. I got into Warframe for the first time. Yeah, that must be it. Anyways, on to the next segment.
Don't know where I am. Help me. Don't know where I am.
In my opinion, this has got to be one of the most slept on parts when it comes to the psychology of a D&D character. You see, if your character doesn't know your party, then how are they gonna know themselves? The character connection to the party is your motivation to keep on keeping on.
Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man.
That's all stuff from my first D&D campaign 5 years ago. Coming up on that anniversary. Just felt like I should throw that in there. I hope you liked it. That cost me a copyright claim right there. Which means I can use whatever song I want now. Oh, this changes up the whole video for me.
And Chewy on some hot nigga.
Yellow. Oh, I can't use that song? It's not because of the copyright? Yeah, that's fair. If you don't got a reason to be there, then what's to keep your character from walking off and doing their own thing? As a player in the group, it's your responsibility to find that connection within the group. Now, there are a few different ways to go about this. The key to companionship is becoming the initiator. Dungeons and Dragons is a sociable game. Unfortunately, it's still Dungeons and Dragons, so statistically, there are more chromosomes than average in your living room. But companionship in a party does not only mean you have to become friends, enemies, frenemies. In every piece of media, there are ties that can be found. People with differing ideologies that work together for a common goal. If you and another character don't get along, you can roleplay that by having this in character arguments. But it is important not to be an asshole. Not everything is a disagreement. Magneto has very rough methods making him a villain, but you understand some of his reasons for doing so. It's fine to start off a character with the basics, but as your campaign progresses, the complexities are what bring you to greatness.
The darkness in my soul calls out from its prison. What is it, Beelzebub? Someone hasn't subscribed to the channel? How disappointing. Just a dog that's fallen into the spiderweb of corporate lies. If only they knew what freedom they could have if they just subscribe to Kosal and hit that little bell icon.
Who was that? What the fuck was that? Did you see what just happened? I'm forgetting something. Something important. I need to dive deeper. Roll the next segment. No. This can't be right. According to these notes, my first character was dog shit. That doesn't make any sense. How can I give D&D advice if I don't practice what I preach? 7 different personalities and there's not even a sentence of backstory for any of them? But who is the DM? No, it can't be.
Don't think they're not. That's a double negative. So she does think they are?
I think you really are autistic.
There's no way it's him. He died in the Russian dogfighting incident of 1974. Unless... A lot of people will say that you shouldn't overthink your character's history, especially if it's going to pertain to the main story. To those people, I say, blocked, elbozo, you're done, bye-bye. It's my thing, and I love myself some build-ups. Now, I'm not saying to make yourself into the main character of the party. This entire process requires a little bit of help from your DM to play around, because you gotta be able to pluck at these personal story moments without overshining everyone and the DM not revealing everything to you. What you gotta do is leave a few seeds. There's this whole thing that I totally didn't steal from Reddit called the knife theory. How does it work? A character has a set number of knives. These knives represent different aspects of your character that your DM can use to stab you repeatedly like a Nike tracksuit wearing British teenager. It can be things like people you care about or different crimes they committed or whatever they looked up last night on the old hub. I don't care. I won't judge you, at least not publicly. When the knife comes to stab, that's where you gotta make sure to react appropriately. Not as yourself, but as your character. The DM is not out there to fuck you over. He's there to facilitate an adventure that collaborates with the players, and you can't have a good story without a bit of negatives. Alongside this, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Some people call it cringe, I call it roleplay. So while those folks are looking for their next DDP++, I'm on an emotional roller coaster ready to trauma dump on the folks behind me. But pick your moments. You don't want to be the subject of the next Këëtrëh video, do you? I've said it once, I'll say it twice, even if I'm a little buzzed, maybe even thrice. Good D&D is all about some motherfucking balance, and you can quote me on that.
God, you're alive?
That's when I knew. This was my punishment. It's not that I was being punished for making a first-time DM watch me roleplay a character with dissociative identity disorder and 7 different personalities. Actually, it kind of was, but I needed to understand what it was like to DM for the most dog shit of character types. It's what I deserved for not even really fleshing that whole idea out. 7 different personas and not enough understanding of them. This was my punishment. A life of scheduling times and watching my friend show up 30 minutes late to something that takes place online. And them making characters that have the personal charm of a goddamn lemon.
You will know you're reborn tonight.
When I opened my eyes, what I saw was freedom spread out before me. It was at that moment that I knew roleplay was what urged my joy of tabletops. And to have good roleplay, you have to understand your character better than you do yourself. And at that moment, I made a promise to myself. I was done with D&D games that had no development, no substance. From then on, I'd live honest to myself. I would make sure that every player that walked through my games would have character growth, story moments. Combat fucking sucks, but I'll run it just to progress your adventure. I won't ask you to understand me. Just that.
You send me some backstory. Like, I'll take anything at this point. I just need something to work with. A couple of sentences would work. I just need something to progress this campaign. Whatever.
You will know.